Oh my god, I had so much fun making that.
I was not ready for that guitar riff. That was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna change up the music every month just to kind of give it a little bit more fun. Of course, it'd probably help if I put it on the correct. Oh, do I not have a? Oh, I don't, because you guys haven't made it to the. Oh, you're on your way to the dinner party. That's right. I forgot about that. On your way to the dinner party. The party, going to the party.
Prime real estate for a bard.
Is it?
Dinner parties, you know?
The
like,
parties.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
We'll find out.
Sometimes I feel like bards are a little terrifying when it comes to dinner parties, for sure.
Yeah. Eat, drink, and be merry.
Eat, drink, and try not to get married.
Oh, I don't have to worry about that. I have other plans.
Well, happy Sunday, everybody. It feels like we were just here a week ago.
Has it been a week? It feels like a month.
Well, I guess it can feel like that sometimes, huh?
That's what 2024 started out for me. Like, it's every week is a month.
Oh man.
So, yeah. How much can we pile in? You know, it's only 2 weeks. How much can we pile in?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's not 2 weeks. It has not been 2 weeks. I don't care what anybody says.
But it is. It's the 14th.
I hate this.
Right? I told you. It's already been 2 months.
Well, yeah, it does. I know, right? It's like it's MLK weekend, so you know my kids will be home tomorrow, and it'll be kind of fun. My middle kids. We had my soon-to-be 2-year-old. He'll be 2 in a couple days, I think. We had his birthday party today over at the park, so he had a lot of fun with that. But
no park around here would have been fun.
Well, yeah, there's that, right? There's always that.
We were. I think the highest I saw on my thermostat was 13 today.
Yikes! Ugh. I mean that sounds like an ABV rating of alcohol. I can't.
Well,
you know that shouldn't be a temperature. That sounds like it should be illegal.
I mean, all I wore out was this jacket, though.
Psychotic behavior.
Right?
a thin jacket. That's all you need.
Come to LA where it's just not winter. We've decided we don't like it. It's not happening this year.
Yeah, it is incredibly mild for us in Southern California. Our nights in the desert get cold. You know, it gets down to a whopping 40 degrees.
Well, I mean, it literally only just decided to get cold. It hasn't been
the weather
cold
patterns
all year.
have been a little weird this
Or
year.
all winter.
Yeah. So, where we last left off, the team had a bit of a contrition moment where it would seem that Puck, Xanath, and Earthen may have finally worked out their differences in regards to the wholesale bloody murder of a total victim of imprisonment, depending on your point of view. They have hitched a ride on on a blue whale. This blue whale is commanded by Gorgrim and those in charge of guiding people into the Vale and into the Shattered Isles. This is said to be their last journey, as the city known as Haven, that once existed on the back of a giant ancient dragon turtle, has been abandoned by their people and going and returning back to their Lucidian Sea nomadic lifestyle. However, hitching a ride are some other interesting individuals: an artist, a team of academics, as well as maybe some others that you haven't quite met yet. But one of the members of the team of academics was interested in inviting you to a dinner party, as they are in the process of wrapping up the first day of the journey towards the Shattered Isles. You guys leave Xanath's little tiny hut that she's built on the side of the blue whale that we now call Barney, kind of coined by one of the other NPCs. Probably the most significant thing we learned last session is that I believe Xanath scryed on Mason in hopes of making any new discoveries. Discovering actually is the best way to put it, as it would appear that Mason is in the possession of a chunk of an old castle and part of an old town where he seems to be looking for something. And he has sent one of the 3 remaining simulacrum of Vassarus to go and attempt to locate and recover it. And we also now know for a fact that Mason, while he has either become Dampier or possibly Vampire, we're not entirely sure. And a desiccated, wasted form sitting in a throne of a chunk of Strahd's castle seems to be what he has come in possession of. Recoiling from her scry, the team kind of make amends, talk through their differences, and decide to join in on the dinner party. And with that, you guys arrive to like where the netting and kelp is. You could see, like, attached to the netting, a door. And there's kind of like a blue swirling light that kind of echoes around the door, giving it a kind of like a bright kind of hue almost. Definitely magical in nature. What would you guys like to do?
Okay, so we have our lies all set up, though. We know what we're saying and what we're not.
So what are we saying? We're just traveling to the Shattered Isles?
I don't believe I told them why we were going. I also told them that we did not meet Brightfin. We vaguely heard of Mannheim. And we're just, nice yokels on a journey without any idea what's happening.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No.
I don't know how Earthen feels about being a yokel, but
well, no, that feels appropriate. I'm not gonna lie about that. But...
just meaning well, nice people. What's trouble? We don't know that. We avoid that. And also, Earthen, you are not to say your name. Either make up a name or don't say a name. But for fuck's sake, you are being hunted down. We don't need that right now.
I'm Burt Reynolds.
Okay, Burt.
No, you're Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. I'm Burt Reynolds.
Burt Ray. No.
Reynolds. Bart Reynolds.
I mean, you can tell them whatever you want, but just know that I told them that we did not meet Brightfin.
Should we just tell them that we're exploring the cause of the rift?
Yeah.
A lie, and it's not super informative.
That sounds good.
Have they been to Gnomeworks?
I assume Puck remembers better than Tali.
You recommended they visit Gnomework.
Oh, right. So, probably not.
I mean, we have a very recognizable member of the party, if they have.
Who?
The living statue.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're practically a god. I forgot about.
Oh
that.
Yeah, no. Okay, maybe we
No
also
wonder I don't like you.
the helmet on.
I'm a reincarnation, a series of thousands of years. Not a big deal.
Oh,
might have
right.
to
Wow.
You might have to take your helmet off.
No, you definitely keep that helmet on.
Okay, Magneto.
Okay, let's put our hands in a circle and say we're not gonna cause trouble or fuck anything up at 3. Not causing trouble, not fucking anything up.
I don't think I can do that. You
Spot's tail immediately like twitches nervously.
I put my hands in a circle.
Why?
You said put our hands in a circle.
Oh, okay, I see. Whatever.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Okay, I guess we're gonna fuck this up. Let's go.
Tally or Puck
I'm
takes
all
1
for it.
point of psychic damage.
I wasn't trying to cast cutting words. Sorry. Okay.
Do we knock on the door?
I'm going to cast detect magic first and read the door.
All right.
So I take out the loot and I'm just going to strum just like detect magic, and then if I can get an idea of that this is what they say it was.
Yeah, it is a mythical door known as the Magic Mansion. This one feels a little bit more powerful in its magic. Typically, lesser or mid-tier versions of this particular spell/item last maybe 8 hours. This one appears to last 24 hours.
Okay, so far as I can tell, this is what they described it as, a magic mansion. So far it looks safe.
We got this. I really believe in us this time.
This time. You know what? Puck, D6 inspiration for that one.
No.
This time. That was very important that gets stated. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Getting my fingers ready to play. Sorry.
With that,
I'm gonna.
do you knock on the door or?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless someone has more stuff to do.
No. Oh, I was gonna keep playing, so
All
I
right.
could keep detect magic up while we're going in.
Okay. Awesome.
But like, I figure if I'm doing it while we come in, it's less subtle than if I do it when we get in.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just sitting out here playing a tune, you know.
Hey, Puck, do you remember who you spoke to last time?
It was a girl.
Was it Sibylla? I think it was Sibylla, right?
Yeah, I think she
No,
was like,
it was Professor Alara Thornbrook.
yeah, that sounds
It was
more
Thornbrook.
correct.
Yeah,
I wrote it down. I was trying to find it.
A particularly energetic looking human who showed signs of age and academia. However, who's knocking on the door then?
I'll knock on the door.
Zenith, you knock on the door. A halfling answers the door. She throws open the door. She's all of 2 feet tall, looks up and sees you. Oh, hello. How are you? I was told to tell you we're not buying anything.
Hello.
I'm just kidding. It's funny, right? That's what anyways, you hear a voice in the background. Is that them, Tilly? Yeah, it's them. I tried the joke. They didn't laugh. I think you guys are mean. And she turns around and she just walks back in.
Already fucking up.
Well, she doesn't think you guys are mean. She thinks the people who told her to tell the joke are kind of mean about it.
Puck laughs very performatively.
Give me a
Ha 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 ha.
Can I just fail at it without rolling?
Yeah, if you
Is that
want
allowed?
to. Yeah, it's super
Okay.
cringy. Like Tilly, the little halfling, kind of looks over her shoulder and shrugs her shoulders with a little bit of a smile. You guys look around, and it's a very well constructed space. The magic of the place is a little bit overwhelming because as you stand in the foyer entrance looking up, it goes up like many levels, like unending. And they've magically put a kind of transparency to looking upwards, and you can see out into the waterscape. And it's like super cool because you could see that you're traveling on the blue whale, but yet you know the space isn't actually being consumed. So it's like it just gives it more depth and size. You can see a very long dining room table filled with about 5 people. And then there's Tilly, who's walking towards them, guiding you in. And then there's another familiar face, the half-orc artist, is over in a sitting room area, kind of painting the image of everyone sitting at the dining room table. And it's like, and then of course you see another person that you haven't met yet. But you can see that all the academics are at the table, like picking at their food and kind of having polite conversation. There's plenty of places to sit. There's a roaring fire going on. Probably the biggest expression of the magic of the place is that invisible servants are kind of doing the bulk of the work. You watch as a cat walks by, looks up at the 4 of you and goes, "Oh, hello, welcome," and keeps walking by. There's like birds perched up on certain areas. And that's when you begin to see like the floating artwork and sketches and things that they're doing to kind of support their conversation. And they're pretty robust and loud. They seem to be having a conversation about rifts, magical incursions, the Shattered Isles. It feels like one of those kind of academic dinner parties. Puck, as you and the others come in and Tilly goes to kind of like consign herself to getting more food, a familiar Professor Alara comes over and goes, "Oh, welcome. I'm glad you and your friends decided to come, Puck." And she leans down to shake your hand, and introductions are in order. Would you like to go first, or shall I go first?
She looks at Earthen.
No, by all means.
You know I'm awkward with these things. She's probably trying to think of a fake name for you. Well, seeing as how your tongue's tied, allow me to introduce you to everybody. Over there, sitting and painting, one of our more famous individuals. I don't know if you've met him yet, but he is quite an interesting spectacle. Our friend Donegan, he is an artist of sorts. He's traveling to the Rift as well to paint the magical conditions as well as some of the nearby islands within the Vale. And of course, over here, sitting across from him, and he points at an elven woman reading a book. That is Madame Halfleaf. She is from Singorn. She is traveling to study the magic that's being used within the Vale. Let's see. That cranky fellow down there is Alden Fairwind. He is an instructor of diplomatic services for Drusar. Over there is Professor Lysander Crowell of botany and alchemy. Over there is Madame Sibylla. She is a practitioner of arcane arts. And of course, finally, that gloomy Gus sitting there as she points at a dwarf. That is Professor Blackwood. He is a master tactician of armaments, metallurgy, and his hope is to study the effects or to see if there's any resources upon which he can do his writings on and take them back with him. Please introduce yourselves. Oh, and the young halfling there, that is Tilly Greenbottom. She is a master alchemist from Amman. Everybody, this is Puck. She points down towards Puck. And this charming gentleman in the purple pajamas, who would he be?
Denegar Manathorn, at your service.
Denegar Manathorn. Very well. I see that you're a bit of a musician. Fascinating. And over here, this person. I'm sorry. You with the priestly garments and clergy. You look strangely familiar. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted by it. And you are?
Yes, my name is Xanth, Cleric of Helm.
Oh, fascinating. And a tabaxi. Put away your silver. Anyways, what is your name? You're mute, Eric.
He was actually talking in purrs.
I know.
Oh, hello there, little one. I'm not really an adventurous so much. I'm just their traveling cook. Would you perhaps need any assistance in your kitchens for this soiree? But anyway, if you do feel the need, my name is.
Oh, we don't speak tabaxi. Do you go by a common name?
I don't. I mean, the others don't seem to have a problem with it.
Stripe.
I suppose you could. Do
his name is Stripe. Everybody, this is Stripe. Yes.
Yes.
Well, they all kind of hello, yeah, hello, and
Who's to lie about our names?
Those of us who can do. Those of us who can't are clerics.
well, please, if you wouldn't mind, it's buffet style tonight. Make yourself a plate and make yourself comfortable. We are just going over some of our notes and discussions. Master Blackwood there was enlightening us about some of the perimeter islands on the other side of the Vale. And then Miss Sibylla was talking about her magical theories in regards to how the Vale works. But feel free to make yourselves comfortable. The bar is over there. We have all manner of fine beverages if you choose so. And if you're so inclined, please make yourself comfortable in the sitting area as well.
Do you have a stage?
Well, give me a moment. She closes her eyes, and near the back end of the kind of like sitting room, a stage begins to magically form.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, are you going to perform for us?
Do cows moo?
Do cows? Well, of course they do. They're cows.
Yes.
You're so expressive. Sorry. Thank you. I see what you did there. Of course, if you feel like playing, feel free to play. We would love to hear.
I'm going to make my way to the stage in the back.
You hear the half-orc mumble. For fuck's sake, is he going to play something?
Hey, good friend. This man is a great artist. Let me show you one of his works. And I pull out the caricature of
The two big bobbleheads
the two of us.
Yeah.
Wonderful artistry from the gentleman. You must. This is going to be worth so much when I get back to Nicodranus. I'll set it like at the corner of the stage.
Yeah.
So that it's
Like
on
a
display.
polite clap.
Not even a golf clap.
Right,
just
help him
kinda-
out a little bit.
Yeah. Just like and some murmurs of, oh yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, that's lovely.
I'm going to start just strumming a tune and try to kind of subtly eye what's lighting up as I'm playing. Like, it sounds like I'm tuning, right? Like that, but kind of like eyeing what's lighting up as I'm doing it.
Yeah. Give me a performance check for starters as you do that.
Okay. Not terrible. That's a 19.
18. They're very, very much enjoying the performance. The music is lifting out, and they're enjoying the pace, the difference from the kind of animated objects that were performing before. Give me perception with advantage as you look around the room.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. That's a 30.
Okay. While Earthen's playing, what are the rest of you doing?
I'd like to kind of get as close to the beverages table as possible with my back to it. Just kind of very engage the little gnome the little halfling in conversation. So,
Okay.
Well, excuse me, I didn't quite catch your name, but could you tell me what is it?
My name's Tilly.
Oh, Tilly, right.
Yeah.
I do apologize. It's, being around humans and there. But
I'm not a human. I'm a halfling.
I know, I'm saying like being around other, I'm saying humans make
You're kind of awkward. Are we allowed to pet you?
I mean, I suppose.
You seem nervous.
Usually
Are you okay? You seem
nervous.
nervous. Are you okay?
I'm not nervous so much as I'm just.
Why do you talk so much?
It's a tabaxi
Well,
thing. I'm
what's
sorry.
up?
I want this.
It's like every time he speaks. It's like for the first time, Spot has met his match. She's just as ADD as you are. You don't need to make an insight check. I mean, you just pick up on the fact that she's like, and she just like, and then she picks up a muffin and crams it and goes, what kind of tabaxi are you?
I cover Rescos, but what do you mean? What type of tabaxi am I? Do you mean like what do I do? Like I'm a tabaxi. I distant from leopard people. Like is that what you're asking?
No, I was just wondering. Do you like? Do you have a clan? Do you come from a particular region?
Yes.
What type are you?
Well, I come from Rescos. It's a little mixed lean and tabaxi village on the southern continent. But I haven't been there in 10 years ish. I don't really know much of the current details.
So you're out on your wanderlust then, huh?
A little bit, yes. So I just wanted to know. I'm trying to make myself useful to my companions here. Can you tell me what are there any of these libations behind me that your companions particularly care for? I'd like to make myself helpful to them.
Oh, their food's magical. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, you could go into the food closet, the larder there, and take whatever you want. Rumor has it that if you eat the food, you get magicked somehow. I heard her call it a hero's feast or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
Don't know what that means. I'm not a magic person. I'm more of a alchemist and metallurgy, botanist type. I like the wilds. That's my thing. I'm really hoping that this will be my first time ever making it through the Veil. I'm hoping that the islands have lots of stuff to offer. And she kind of rubs her hands together. And what are you and your friends heading to the islands for?
I honestly don't know about them. I'm just tagging along for them. They don't like talking to them. They don't seem like it. They're very classist.
Oh, that's unfortunate. They seem nice. Your little gnome friend seems nice, although she does have a few scars that kind of make her look scary. Just wondering, are they your friends, or did they hire you just to take care of them, or why are you going?
Me, I mean, the one with the loot up there is kind of, one doesn't like to talk ill of their employers, but he's useless without me.
He's special.
I'm there
needs.
as
You have to travel with him. I understand.
yes.
Rich families can usually afford to do that. That's pretty cool. That's nice of you to do that.
Yes. I'm there to provide for their meals. We can't always, go in with magical feasts or whatever. And occasionally I do a little bit. It's not my main thing, but a little bit of security. She said she's into metallurgy. I just extend one of my Quicksilver claws. Have you ever seen anything like this? This is something I picked up a few months ago in Nova.
Oh, yeah. You That's Quicksilver. That's some pretty lethal stuff. Where'd you get that at?
I picked this up, I don't know, during my travels. I made a stop at Gnomeworks at some time, and this was just, I've only had to apply it once. It just continues growing with my claws. It's amazing stuff.
Can I take a look at that for a second?
Oh, by all means. Just kind of show my
her little tiny hand and your big claw in it. She goes, "Oh, and not brittle or anything, huh? You can pretty much just still get through anything you scratch."
Pretty much, yes. It's quite.
What happens if you got an itch?
I'm sorry?
What happens if you got an itch? What do you do?
I mean, I have to extend my claws all the way and like.
No, so how do you itch then? Do you itch? Do you like scratch yourself or do you do that weird leg thing, like where you put your leg up in the air and clean yourself? Is that something Tabaxi do?
That feels somewhat racist.
She like him over there. And she points at the little cat over by a chair. It's got its leg up and doing that kind of like cleaning. And she look. They try to teach me jokes, and I try to use them. I'm sorry. I'm not really social. I just sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean to. But you are kind of like a big cat, right? Like a big house cat. I mean, you do wear pajamas, but I'm just curious.
Well, this is just a traveling monk's robe. I was formerly trained in that.
Oh, you're a monk. What do you worship?
Oh, well, I primarily worship Timora, the luck goddess, and I have a few Tabaxi deities that I pay obeisance to. But none that I think you would really need to deal with yourself there. But I know you mentioned metallurgy. Do you've seen this Quicksilver? Do you have the? Are you able to create any of this? I'm afraid
back in my lab in Amman, I could, but I'm more on an expedition this time, so I didn't really bring much with me. Sorry.
Oh, well, what is it you and your companions here are trying to find?
Oh, I just came for the free food. I don't travel with them. I'm traveling on my own, of course. I'm hoping to find rare plants and flora, fauna, and other things to add to my collections back home.
Excuse me. That's incredibly interesting. If you happen to come across anything on our voyages while we're here, please let me know. That sounds like a fascinating endeavor.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen. This is normally where I'm supposed to say something pleasant and then walk away, but I really don't know what to say, so I'm gonna walk away now. And she just pulls out her book, opens it, and just starts reading as she walks away.
Spot's gonna watch her walk away. Just can I do an insider perception check to just see whether or not she's paying attention to me at all?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'll do a perception.
Oh.
Okay, nat 20. But
Ooh.
I hope I didn't waste this because
that's like a codex for the DM. I really hope I didn't waste this natural 20, buddy.
Yes, but she's not looking at me. I want to just kind of do a classic hat and just like stretch out my back paw and just scratch my ear while she's not looking at me. Just
yeah, it's fine. Nothing happens. You get the feeling that she's used to working isolated. She had no social manners or social skills at all. But she seemed very confident in her knowledge when she was expressing it. And you got a feeling that she was very kind of trying to hide her excitement when she noticed that you were embalmed with Quicksilver on your nails.
all right. Well, unfortunately, need to get with Winter's handlers. It's time to get in touch with Winter at some point to get my damn medals back.
Zenith, what are you doing with your time right now?
I think I'm a little alarmed to have been potentially recognized, but I'm really curious about what all these very smart people are discussing. So probably I try and find a corner where I can eavesdrop as much as possible without hopefully being noticed.
Okay. Give me perception for
Okay.
starters.
All right. Give myself guidance. All right. That's 20. Dirty 20.
And give me either stealth or deception, your choice.
Okay. Well,
You just kind of blend into the back, into the kind of nearby furniture and bookshelves, just trying to pick up on an interesting conversation and blend in at the same time.
Just stand next to a suit of armor.
That's an 11 for deception.
Okay.
Just stand next to a suit of armor, real still.
Stiffly in a corner.
You can see Sibylla and Thornbrook, Thornbrook being the host, Sibylla being the magical theory expert as it relates to the School of Evocation, are talking, and they notice you kind of take an interest in their conversation. And they both stop to talk, and I'm so sorry, but me and my friend Sibylla have to ask you something.
What can I?
Do you have parents?
Yes.
What are their names?
Oh, shoot, I never thought about their names. Sabine and William.
And what do they do for a living?
They're scholars. They live in Nicodranus. They do research.
I knew it. I attended one of your mother's speeches on properties of divinity and the understanding of Helm. You look just like her. It's her hair and your eyes. You look just like her. She's an amazing speaker. Did you know this?
I did know that. She's incredible. How recently was that?
Oh, maybe 2-3 years ago?
All right, a little while ago.
Yes, but the spitting image of her, from the eyes and the hair, your face definitely looks a lot like her. Unfortunately, your father, William, was not available to speak that day, as I guess he had kind of come down with a particular ailment that kept him in bed. But I do remember the speech and the presentation that your mother gave. It was quite interesting. Do you follow the practices of Helm based on their wishes, or has this just become a thing for you?
I think she became more interested at the time that I began following him. So, it's just the direction our paths took.
And are you a priestess, an alkalite, Templar? What do you fit into the how shall we say, the Church of Helm? I guess I don't know. I'm not much of one for divinity, but I'm always interested in having conversations about it with people.
Yeah, I'm a cleric, low level. It's only been a few years. I have a lot to learn.
Oh, interesting.
But have been traveling for about a year, doing what I think is requested.
And what is requested? Where are you and your friends traveling to then?
I think like many temples and obviously many academics, we're very curious about the rift activity and what might be causing it and what threats, if any, it might pose.
You watch as Sibylla interlaces her fingers and looks at you. That's fascinating, but I'd like to know, if you're traveling through the Vale and to the Isles, what do you seek specifically? If the Temple of Helm is involved in such things, I'm assuming it's a sanctioned expedition then?
I'm seeking only information. I'm excited to meet you all. I had no idea that there was a party of so many academics traveling to study the Vale at this time. It's obviously very dangerous.
Give me a persuasion check as you're trying to steer the conversation away from you.
Okay. I'm gonna use guidance again. That is a 15.
Oh, you're quite clever. Are you sure you're not a politician? You seem to not want to directly answer the question, do you? Are you traveling for the sake of magic, the divine? Is there a reason why? You do realize that the tribal communities within the Shadow Isles are quite violent and quite pagan in their belief systems, of course. They may not be overly welcome to an expedition from someone of the Temple of Helm. Surely you must know this.
I have limited information about the tribes, although I understand that they might not worship. They certainly don't worship Helm, and that they may be unfriendly. But we are a peaceful expedition.
And is there a particular island you're hoping to find when you traverse the Vale?
I think that we are looking to see how far the whale will take us. We've heard about Dragon's Breath, but
yes, the island of Beacon.
Shrouded.
We too are traveling to Dragon's Breath. We have heard that it is possibly a location of one of the ancient, renowned lighthouses that may be located there. Fascinating. And your friends are traveling with the same intent.
Yeah, we're all traveling with interest in the Rift and interest in the Isles.
Oh. And what do you know of the Wandering Assembly, my dear? The Wandering... I was curious.
Relatively limited information about the Wandering Assembly. Why are you traveling with them?
No. It was information that I had recently acquired that the Wandering Assembly once had a outpost on the island, and the guild and family members were the last ones to leave. Supposedly, one of them still might be there, from what I hear. And she arches an eyebrow with a big eye, kind of staring at you.
Can I make an insight check? Does it seem like she's just playing with me because she already knows, or she's just fishing?
You can make an insight check on that one. I like that.
Okay. That's a 28.
She is fishing big time.
Okay, this is a fishing expedition.
Yeah, you could tell she's trying to figure out if someone from the Wandering Assembly has sent you. It's on her face. She's not very good at this fishing expedition.
Okay.
And with that same insight check, you could see that the other person that was there speaking with you, Thornbrook, is kind of giving Sibylla like that look of, oh, don't embarrass me kind of look. It's like that kind of dinner party look, like, oh, here she goes again, about the Wandering Assemblyman. And Sibylla goes, well, dear, you say limited information. I was wondering, have you heard that there is a woman in Nicodranus, calls herself Withia Felderwood? Have you heard of her?
Withia Felderwood?
Yeah, she is the only known surviving member of the Wandering Assemblyman. And recently, I've come to understand that she has hired an organization to prove that she's the only survivor. And seeing as how me and my friends hail from Jusar and Amman and other places, I find it interesting that you hail from Nicodranus, because am I to hear you correctly? Your mother and father live in Nicodranus. Therefore, I can only assume that you're from Nicodranus.
Big city.
God, you really are a good fucking politician. And I'm rolling like shit on her insight checks right now. Oh, fuck. At this point, you're holding back. So I would need another deception check.
Okay.
But with advantage because of that amazing insight that you just took.
Okay. All right, so this is deception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not very good. That's a 14 plus 3, 17.
Okay. So as you, Sibylla, and Thornbrook kind of like in this three-way conversation, Puck, as you begin to look around, there's a shadow on you within a moment, and you can see the dwarven fella Blackwood kind of holding a small kind of wine glass and a large tankard. His left hand has the wine glass and his right hand has the tankard, and he kind of, hello, I am Master Blackwood. It is, and he's speaking in a gnomish that feels like you'd learn in 5th grade. So he's trying to impress you with his gnomish speaking. It's at that point you realize he's speaking deep gnome, which probably is the only gnomish he ever learned. My name is Professor Blackwood. It's a pleasure to meet you. Could I offer you a drink, perhaps?
Sure thing, bro.
He goes, oh no, you gotta slow down. I don't know you in English quite well. Sorry about that. I know I clearly I appear fluent, but I'm not quite. So sorry. Anyways, he hands you the small glass of wine, and he kind of like cheers, perhaps, to making it through the veil. My first trip. I'm a little nervous about being underwater. How are you doing about being? He looks up through the transparency of the magic panels. I'm okay with magic, but it kind of freaks me out a bit. Anyways, what's your name?
My name is Puck.
No,
No last
Do you
name,
have a-
just
Puck. Fascinating. Well, why are you and your friends traveling to the Vale? What brings you out here so far in the deep seas?
Well, we've come together kind of by chance, and we were all interested in studying the rifts. So,
Fascinating. Have you had any experience with the rifts yet?
a few small ones.
Ah,
We've met people who have had experiences with the rift. How about you?
oh, no, not directly, but I gotta tell you, what happened with the turtle was kind of weird. I'm wondering if that had anything to do with it.
It may as well could have.
It just
Honestly,
seems like the closer we get to the Vale, the stranger things keep getting.
what kind of strange things have you seen other than,
Oh,
turtle.
it's not so much about seeing, and he starts tugging at his beard. It's more a matter of like experience, I think. As soon as I heard rumors that the council had been attacked, and then suddenly the great dragon turtle had gone inert, sunk to the bottom, and it was announced that they would be leaving the city of Haven, I couldn't help but notice that we're only about 2 or 3 days travel from finally reaching the Vale. And he looks over at the kind of like all the academics sitting at the dinner table. And, these lot over here, they've been talking about some strange fucking shit. You get my meaning? Don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good intellectual conversation just as much as the next person. But my focus is more on the building and construction of things, and weaponry and armaments as well. But they're talking about magics, and the one called Sibylla was talking to the one called Fairwind. And the two of them were discussing how the rifts might be small energy expressions of a gradual collapse of planes of existence, where they collide with each other through uncontrollable magics. They rend themselves open, and sometimes things fall through, sometimes things come through, or sometimes things go out and through. Now that seems odd to me that could be a possibility. I can only imagine that the expression of such large amounts of magic would take a large amount of arcane energy to do such things.
That is truly bizarre. Yeah, that's what we're here to study. What brings you out here, if I may ask?
Oh, you may certainly ask. I am hoping to see if these rifts create rare opportunities of resources that I could use in my manufacture and creation process. I have heard tales. In fact, I want to say about 6 months ago, a traveling merchant through Kraghammer had dropped some information in regards to the discovery of an uncharted island near some of the main waterways. Not quite close as we have gotten, but nearby. Most of the merchant ships now refuse to get too close to them. Far too dangerous of a situation to get trapped in. But they had claimed that they had gone right by an island that they hadn't seen there before. And it was uncharted, and they were under the impression that maybe a great volcano had formed. But I couldn't help but overhear some of their sailors in a local tavern in Kraghammer speaking to the fact that there was a great lightning storm that evening. And then the following morning, they noticed the island. I wonder if maybe they had experienced a great rift that had occurred and something had come through. And I figured if something that large could come through, maybe there could be magical properties or portents within those particular islands or things that come through that could be used in magical manufacture, perhaps.
My goodness, yeah. Well, as an explorer cartographer, what you are saying is phenomenally interesting to me.
You're a map maker?
Yes, that is my contribution to the
Oh,
study.
do I have a million questions for you? And he kind of like throws his arm around your shoulders and steers you towards the sitting area where the half-orc artist is painting and where the other academic elf is sitting, and just kind of, guides you towards a chair, and he sticks out his hand to offer you a seat, and he sits right across from you, and the two of you kind of descend into a casual conversation about cartography and the idea of map making and the challenges. He wants to refill your wine glass. Do you allow him?
I say, us gnomes, lightweights, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, well, I'll just leave the bottle next to you then. If you feel free to pour yourself. And he kind of leans in and starts, going into some questions. Earthen, from your vantage point, you can see that Xanath is in a conversation with the one that was called Sibylla, as well as Thornbrook. Mm-hmm. You see that Puck is sitting down and seeming to have a conversation with Blackwood the dwarf. And of course, you can see Spot trying to have a conversation with Tilly. Although for the first time in your life, you get a warm sensation that he might be struggling a bit. Because every time he starts a sentence with her, you can overhear her immediately interrupt him and start asking another question. And you're just like strumming along going, this feels good.
Good times.
So there's a few things you notice. The entire environment itself is quite magical. So it pings with a low effervescent of arcane energy, which matches to your expectation. Blackwood has a belt, 2 rings, and a vest that he is wearing that is giving off magical properties. The elf sitting across from him, she has 4 rings on that all seem to give off magical properties, most of which seem to be schools designed for their specialty, things that would increase wisdom, intelligence, perception, things that you pick up on that would make sense on their person. What you find hilarious is that the tripod easel and the paintbrush and the paints that the artist is using is all pure magic. You get the feeling that it's only expressive and he's only an artist because of his magical devices that he's using. You look over to see some of the others wearing either clothing of adornment that appears to be magical, necklaces, finger rings, things that all feel more steering towards information, knowledge, improvement, some protection, which kind of makes sense. So kind of you get that vibe that nothing nefarious or overtly powerful in any way. The Magic Mansion itself is a pretty powerful expression of magic. So you get the feeling that maybe Thornbrook might be the most advanced when it comes to kind of like magical adornments as well as magical capacity and ability. All the others seem to be, competent, but they probably are better expressing themselves through academia than anything else. You do kind of glimpse at the half-leaf, the female elf sitting in the chair. When you glimpse over at her, you notice that she's reading a book that is titled The History of Vampirism.
Got it. So I'm going to start playing some music and playing songs that Earthen is completely making up based on things that have happened so far. His warm-up song is the Wandering Men of Isles Unknown. And it's going to be some like high level history of the Wandering Assembly kind of stuff. Just what he gleaned from what, he's been told and what we've picked up on our journey so far. Okay. But as I'm playing, the intent is while I'm playing and singing about these things, I'm looking for reactions. Okay. I'm looking for like interest and reactions. So would that be insight or perception or a combination?
Give me a performance check for starters.
Okay.
See how well you pull off this impromptu song.
That's going to be a 23.
23. Now give me insight as you begin to study everybody's recognition or at least impact of the song. And the song's main focus point is on what part of your journey?
It's not on our journey necessarily. It's just like the history of the Wanderman Assembly and how,
Gotcha.
This group went out on these unknown isles, explored them, set up shop, and then mysteriously disappeared.
Gotcha.
And that's a 19 for insight.
Okay. There's a moment that Halfleaf kind of pauses to kind of look up at you quickly as you begin to sing the song. And then quickly her eyes flip back down to her book. No one else really responds other than kind of like a gracious kind of murmur of like fawning over to the new song that you're singing, like a change and how well it's being performed.
Okay. So my next song, I've come up with a 5-song set. Okay. So
okay.
My next song is The Captain and Her Bow. It's a silly song. It's intended to be silly, but it's a song about the Martinet and Devon, but still pretty high level of them. It's just about this.
Do you use name references or just
no name references?
Okay,
just the she captain and her bow.
Gotcha.
And her bow is turned into a bullywog at the end.
Okay.
Like the song, that's kind of the joke of the song. He turns into a bullywog. She kisses him, and she turns into a bullywog too. Like
Okay.
instead of being like the Princess.
Do you
and the Frog,
play it like a shanty almost?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
silly. It's meant to be upbeat. It's like the first one's kind of mellow, the second one's happy and kind of cheery and upbeat,
Gotcha.
trying to swing the mood a little bit. But it's also
Give me
to
an,
see if
yeah, give
anyone
me another
catches it.
performance check
Yep.
as you switch to a new song. And I would say Spot, Puck, and Xanath, you easily pick up on the fact that he's switching into obvious songs that only the three of you would remember.
So that's a 26.
Woo!
That's my performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me another insight check as you once again start trying to read the room.
That's another 19.
This time you notice Sibylla takes an interest in your song. Pauses in her conversation with Xanath to look in your direction for a moment. Her eyebrows kind of furrow together like she's thinking of something, and then shakes her head and goes back to speaking with Xanath.
Okay. All right. The third song, we're going to get a little sad. Okay. The third song is The Princess's Sacrifice.
Who's tormenting you? The kids?
My daughter with a Slim Jim. She's leaning across the table, looking me in the face. That's her Slim Jim wrapper that keeps dangling over the camera there.
Dad, dinner, Dad. Slim Jims.
We had lasagna for dinner. This is just a leftover.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
You can't leave it without the Macho Man Randy Savage, you know. The cream of the crop rises to the top.
Tally's like, oh my God, go to commercial.
I'm a bard. I can't help it. You can't set me up with these things. So the third song, The Princess Sacrifice, is a sad song. It's kind of like a soliloquy kind of thing. It's sung from the perspective of a native princess, right? No race or anything given, but it's kind of the song from her perspective as she prepares to sacrifice herself to stop evil from entering the world.
Give me performance and then give me insight.
Yep. Oh, that's a nat 20 on that performance.
Okay.
So that's a 30 for the performance on that one.
Okay.
And then insight. Not so great insight on that one. It's a 15 insight that time.
Yeah, it's almost like because you performed so well, everybody responds to it with a kind of sense of melancholy and sadness in their faces. And you don't pick up on any specific reaction to it other than what the song was intended to do.
Okay. All right. The fourth song is going back to a silly song again, right? It's another shanty, The Bard Who Wasn't. And it's just kind of a silly song about a bard who goes around from place to place, and people expect him to seduce their daughters, and he keeps not doing it, saying I'm not that kind of bard. He keeps getting like kicked out of the bars because they're like, oh, we don't like your kind around here. And he's like, I'm not the kind of bard, you know.
I love it.
That one's kind of like the icebreaker song. There's nothing really hinted in that one. It's just jokes about Earth and himself, right? The last song though is The Wandering Son Asleep for Good.
Okay.
It's about the son of an evil man, one of four sons of an evil man, who spent his life on the run, trying to stay away from him until finally he was so exhausted he couldn't run anymore, and he was given mercy.
Go ahead and
that one is intended kind of. There are shots in there towards Puck and Xanth, not like angry, but like emotional points.
Gotcha.
Because it's very much intended to be the turtle, and his light from Dominion.
Give me performance with advantage because you've had enough well done performances that people are now beginning to ease off their conversations with one another to kind of all wander like closer to the sitting room to listen to you play.
Okay. That one's 21.
Okay.
And
Give me an insight check on that last one.
insight. So fighting the kids. That's also a 21 on insight for that one.
Okay. You notice two things during this song. You definitely get Sibylla's attention, and for the first time, the more eccentric, older-looking professor gentleman who's been quiet this whole time kind of looks up. The academic Lysander Crawwell looks up from his reading and picking at his food and stares at you with a very kind of intense stare of someone trying to read you with very kind of a look of very severe concentration, like just staring at you for a moment.
So can I cast detect thoughts?
Surface, or do you want to push through?
Surface first. Just kind of feeling the surface first.
As you cast detect thoughts, you pick up on his emotion and his feeling. He feels both annoyed and familiar with your music and the lyrics. And he feels like he's heard or maybe have seen you before.
Okay. I'll wrap up the song.
Okay.
Kind of gauge the crowd and be like, that was kind of a sad one to end on. How about another chorus of the bard who wasn't? And
they all just start, they just start clapping
again,
and
and
cheering and kind of give you those energetic looks that you need to kind of start that song again.
Yep. So intended to leave them on a happy note, so everybody's kind of back up because the last song was intended to be a sad song.
Xanath, Sibylla, and Thornwood have Thornbrook have wandered away from you. They're polite about it. They go, "Excuse us, we'd like to listen to your friend." And Sibylla, "Oh yes, some of this music, quite entrancing. I'll find you later, dear, and I have more questions for you." And the two of them wander away from you. Puck, the dwarf, continues to want to have conversations with you. Tilly has wandered away from Spot, but it appears that Earthen is now playing his kind of like final round. Xanath, you're by yourself again. Is there anything you want to do?
It's kind of tough. I kind of feel like we wandered into a nest of vipers, and I don't think Xanth was prepared for her to be interrogated so much.
Let alone the familiarity with your parentage.
Yeah, although that was very exciting and disappointing that she hadn't seen my mom more recently.
Yeah.
I think I might go and talk to Halfleaf since she's sitting on her own.
You walk over as Earthen is in the midst of his crescendo and kind of build up of the music behind you. You stand there for a moment, and Halfleaf is reading their book, and then her eyes glance. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you standing there. No, I didn't mean to be rude." She closes the book and sets it on the table next to her. Just some light reading. I don't feel quite as educated as some of our hosts are. I've been having difficulties keeping up with their conversation. I'm Halfleaf. I saw you and your friends come in. Eldana Halfleaf. It's a pleasure. And she nervously kind of stands up and puts her hand out to shake your hand.
I'll shake her hand and say, Xanth, it's nice to meet you. I saw you were reading about vampirism.
Oh,
I've been
yes,
reading about it recently as well.
oh, you have. That's. To be honest with you, I was wandering around the bit of the bookshelves and stuff that they have here. I noticed it was on one of the shelves. It's always been said that a magical place like this, whoever owns it, often will leave their memories in book form, as well as the collection of things that they may gather through their life in books in such places. And this one really stuck out to me kind of in a strange way. Not that I'm by any stretch of the imagination knowledgeable of such things, and I found it a very interesting topic when I saw it. Please, would you have a seat? Could I pour you a glass of wine?
Certainly.
You sit down next to her. It's a long sitting couch.
Mhm.
And you sit to one side, she sits on one side. She reaches over and pours 2 glasses of wine and puts the bottle back down and hands you your glass. And so I couldn't help notice that your friend up there, the performer, I can't remember his name. It seems so convoluted and quickly made up. But anyways, I was just curious. Is he a bard by practice?
As long as I've been traveling with him, he's worked as a bard.
On that note, how long have you been traveling with him?
It's been a little while now that the time flies by. Why do you think you've met him before?
He looks very familiar to me. I don't know why. There's something about his face that seems very familiar, but that's fine. I come all the way from Singorn, so it's not likely that I ran into him. It wouldn't make much sense. But if you don't mind me asking, why are you and your friends traveling to the Vale and the Shadow Dials?
Yeah, I think for the same reason as many of you here, though I'd be curious to hear more about your studies. You know, we're interested in the Vale.
I am a botanist by trade. There have been some unique occurrences that I've been getting reports on in regards to the Vale and the many different goings-ons out in the sea lanes. You can't but go to any nearby tavern, whether it be in Amon, Stilben, Vasselheim, and Nicodranus, Port Zune, and sailors for the past year have been giving all sorts of tall tales and interesting stories. One particular story caught me of interest, and I decided to make the journey, mostly to see the dragon turtle and to see this community of merfolk that lived on the back of it. But then I was learning more about their past, and I also learned through the others that are traveling here that you must, and the only safe way to pass is to travel with them, and they will give you safe passage, which I find very interesting. That rumors are that if you travel on the surface through the magical fog that exists as a separation that they call the Veil and into the Shadow Dials, that it can cause madness, and they compare it to the idea of a siren song, and it'd be quite dangerous to travel that way. Traveling this way seems very appropriate, but I can't help but be a little bit inquisitive as to why the merfolk care. Like, why they don't really seem to cater in currency or traditional economics of trade. All I really had to do was give them a map in regards to some recent shipwrecks that I had acquired. And that seemed to be enough of a barter to allow me to accompany them on this journey.
Yeah, we were curious about that as well, that all that was asked from us was information.
Interesting. What would be your reason for traveling? I see that you are someone who worships Helm, and you seem to be wearing the adornments of the clergy. Have they officially sent you on an expedition then?
I have been traveling this direction for a long time, and I understand that members of my temple are curious about why the Veil is spitting out so many strange creatures, so many unfamiliar people, and oh, she's so pretty. And what lies on the Isles beyond.
Oh, it's fascinating. It's just that normally to take on such an excursion, you require at least some semblance of support and patronage to do it. These journeys can be quite expensive from the outside world looking to get there. I am hoping to make my way to an island called the Dragon's Breath. Rumor has it there's some unique flora and fauna that exist there, supposedly due to the magical condition of these so-called rifts. I had come across somebody who had mentioned to me that they felt that the arcane energy being dispersed in the region might actually be originating from this island.
From Dragon's Breath?
Yes, they were convinced that something they referred to as a lighthouse or a lighthouse beacon may be responsible for the source and energy of these arcane occurrences. I don't know if it's true or not, but they seem to be so specific in their knowledge. And they had traveled many times with a group called the Crimson Tide or the Crimson Sail, something like that. I don't really remember. And traveled with the Martinet, I believe, is who the captain of those vessels that I traveled with on occasion. But I was unable to find her for another trip out. So I grabbed another Crimson Sail vessel and they took me to Haven, which is no small feat. And I've been waiting patiently for the betterment of maybe 3-4 weeks.
Who did you speak to, if you don't mind me asking?
He was a strange fellow, I'm not going to lie. It was maybe some 3-4 months ago. What's his name? With an M. Mannheim, I think, was his name.
Yeah, we've heard his name a few times. We were on Gnomeworks for a while and have heard it from 1 or 2 other people here as well. Did he coordinate?
You see, I felt
I
I should have traveled to Gnomeworks. I had heard about the island, but I had also heard there were some strange goings on there, so I decided not to get caught up in it and decided just to wait out my time here on Haven. And of course, now that journey's over, and now we're traveling to the Vale. Strange, very strange. Anyways, I hope your wine is good. Would you like another glass?
I have not touched my first glass, so I'm like, thank you. Doing great.
Oh, sorry. She kind of like finishes hers and pours her own again, and you kind of lost in conversation for a minute there. Let's take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll do the second half of the evening. And we are back. Well, some of us. Oh, it's been a day.
Mm-hmm.
I like how
Look.
Puck keeps sneaking her food. Like, camera goes off, she eats. Camera goes back on.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, I hear you. Birthday parties will do that to you. So as all of you kind of in your conversation spot, after Tilly walks away from you and Earthen is wrapping up his set, you can see that everyone else seems to be, you look over, you can see Xanath is talking to Halfleaf. You can see Puck is still talking to Blackwood, and Earthen's wrapping up his set. Tilly's wandered off with her nose buried in a book. What would you like to do?
I'm going to grab a couple of goblets off the table and walk up behind Earthen, just very kind of performatively, make sure all the people at the table notice me doing it.
Okay.
Just kind of try to be as as obsequious and well mannered.
Like you're like his body servant.
Yeah,
like
I'm his body servant. I'm his So, quite an enjoyable set, sir. I bring some refreshment and just kind of lean into Earth.
I'm gonna like scruffle his head between his ears.
You give him little
like
scrunches.
Right. and thank you. And we'll step back, like the steps over. We'll step off.
As I'm leaving, I'm just gonna kind of whisper to him, like, Rick, I'm pretty sure this is a hero's feast. Yeah. Might as well make use of it while you get what we have it.
Yeah, man. I don't trust this room.
All right. I'm going to walk off with the goblets to the person that he pointed at. Who was it, by the way? Because I just saw kind of their name, just so I can put it in my.
Lysander Crawwell would be the one that I would have like nodded to.
Oh yes, he's the one that definitely took an interest in you, wasn't he?
In the last song, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to kind of walk up behind him, and is there another person like to his immediate right or left, or is he kind of off on his own?
He's definitely sitting by himself near the buffet table. He's kind of gruff looking, bit of a sourpuss, just kind of very intent on his reading and picking at the food on his plate.
I'd just like to go up to him. Peacefully sorry, sir. My employer up there thought you might do with some refreshment. Sent me over to offer you a goblet.
Your employer?
Yes, the bard that just performed. I'm his bard.
Is he famous or something?
To be fair, sir, it's hard to track these days. I know he has money. He pays my bills. He keeps me well, keeps you from getting up to those noisome activities that unfortunate people like to characterize my species for, terrible slander in my case. But it's honest work, and I thank him for it. I couldn't tell you exactly how famous he is. Not like my taste, you understand.
Oh. Well, I don't recognize his name. I find his appearance familiar to somebody that goes by the name of Earthen Yarnwood. But that couldn't be him. My understanding is that Earthen Yarnwood is dead.
Good understanding.
Name is decidedly familiar. I do believe I've heard something about that as well in my recent travels.
Oh,
Some kind
fascinating.
of human outcast, doing Dalian, something like that.
I believe you were going to offer me refreshments. You realize you're still kind of
Yeah,
holding on
just,
to the glasses.
Just said on his, oh, forgive me, sir.
Of course.
I'm not in practice at these things.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to my reading. Thank you.
Of course, sir, of course.
Good. And he
As I walk,
takes a drink and goes back to picking at his food.
as I walk away, can I attempt to pick his pocket with my tail?
Yeah, go for it. Give me a sleight of hand with advantage.
Oh,
Oh no.
That is a 34.
Oh,
34, yeah.
pick his pocket. Which
As
one?
you glance over your shoulder, you see that he has a small leather purse on his belt. And your tail kind of flicks open the flap and then reaches in, and you feel something round and metal that your tail slides through, and you pull out a small golden bracelet that you just kind of keep going as you snatch it out of the pouch.
It's going to kind of circle past Earthen one more time, just kind of. Forgive me. It must have slipped my mind. I didn't actually offer you one of these goblets.
Yeah. I'll take the goblet and kind of follow on.
Okay.
Was there anything on the dais?
Yeah. Middle school right there. Amadeus.
Was there anyone else that caught your eye?
The lady that was talking to Xanth, she glanced up a couple of times.
Okay, I'm going to kind
Fabella is her name, but just, yeah.
Hey, Sir John, after we're done, would you mind sending me a list of the people's names? Because I couldn't hear them. But
Yeah.
I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. Go back, get some refreshments from the table, and go speak to the lady that was talking to Xanth.
Okay.
And is she still in conversation with Xanth, or is she still?
No, Xanth is over in conversation with Halfleaf. Sibylla seems to be in conversation still with Thornbrook, the hostess of the event.
All right, so I'm going to go up to Sibylla. Again, excuse me.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm in a conversation with the hostess? That's quite rude to interrupt.
I do apologize, madam. My employer up there thought that perhaps I could make myself useful. Bring you some refreshments so you didn't need to call upon your own servants or get up from your places here.
Oh, well.
I brought over a few goblets if you care for some of this wine.
Make a persuasion check on this one.
Okay, persuasion. That is a 18.
She takes the goblets and kind of looks at you, or takes the drink and looks at you. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm not sure why you're doing this, but I'm always open to a good beverage on an evening like this.
I'm just trying to be useful, man. Forgive me. I feel so out of place at these high quest soirees. It's
Well, of course you
unfortunate
do. You're Tabaxi. You usually feel out of place everywhere, don't you?
In such high class company, yes, I'm afraid I was.
Oh, it has nothing to do with high class, dear. We're all probably far smarter than you are, and of course it's going to feel awkward.
Everyone here is so rude.
I'm afraid that you are almost certainly vastly more well-read than I cannot dispute
Of course,
that.
it's quite fine. If you don't mind, I'd like to continue my conversation with Madam Thornwood.
All right. Can I do pretty much the exact same thing? Set the goblet down, and I would absolutely love to pick her pockets.
Yeah, give me, because she's not receptive to you like the previous gentleman was. Give me a regular sleight of hand as you dip into her. Like she's got a small, it's small but kind of lengthy on her belt. It's a strange looking bag, but you can see that it has a kind of like a clasp on it that could easily be flitted open and then reached inside.
Oh, man, rough one on this. Only a 33.
Only a 33. Damn it. What level are you guys now?
16?
I've built monsters. Is what I built. Your tail curls around what feels like a small scroll case, and you pop it out of her satchel, and you kind of like tuck it into your fur so it can't be seen as you walk away. She doesn't seem to notice at all.
Okay. We're going to talk to Zan. Real quick, if you don't mind. Just like, oh, madam, I know we haven't really been all that close in this trip of ours, but my master up there wanted me to, see how you were doing as his companion. And just kind of lean in. It's like, call me Stripe. Is there anyone I should pay attention to here?
Greenleaf looks, your friend is quite interesting. Is he okay?
Stripe is our traveling companion and assistant. All is well. Stripe, did you need to speak to me alone, or?
No, just following master's instructions, just making sure that everyone is well catered to. I feel so out of place in these things. I wish he would just leave me in the servants' quarters, but what can one do? He is my employer.
Stripe, Madam Halfleaf was saying that she thought she recognized Earthen, which is so interesting since she never before. Oh,
Why did you say Earthen?
I didn't say Earthen. Whatever his fake name was.
Like, as you're about to say his name, Spot's tail accidentally kind of like hits you in the face.
Oh,
accidentally.
I swear, it has a mind of its own.
Halfway goes, Manners, watch your tail.
I am so sorry about that, mistress. I swear, I know that you more baseline humanoids don't have these, but tails, I swear they have minds of their own sometimes.
Baseline humanoids?
No worries.
It's not a... No, as in like I'm a freakish monster. That kind.
Oh, well,
Yes.
that seems to make more sense then. Tabaxi do have a reputation.
Exactly. It's unfortunate, but I'm trying to what?
We're trying
to
to
provide
discourage negative self-talk with Stripe.
You do. I feel so inadequate around all these humans. It feels so.
It feels so inadequate then.
It does.
Oh,
It does. Thank you, madam.
you're welcome.
I do apologize again if I'm unfortunately misgendering any of you. You know my species doesn't have much use for that. I have very little practice with them.
No. You're doing just
They're just
fine.
like, yeah, like
Thank
so confused by Stripe's arrival. You know, she's just like, I'm going to go refill my plate. Xanath, is there anything I can get you?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much. I don't have high charisma.
I feel like all of that actually came out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. Yours was
I love it.
kind of in the bucket there.
Can I get you anything? Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yes or no? No, yeah.
She gets up. Well, excuse me, I'm going to go grab some more food. And she kind of gets up and leaves you and Stripe alone.
As she walks away, I just kind of want to look at Xath, just kind of nod and just kind of make a finger rubby gesture, like, hey, do I need to? Just,
I don't know what she's got. She's a scholar. All these people seem pretty kind of rude and overconfident, but smart. She's working with Mannheim, or she thinks she is.
okay, that's all I needed to hear. So I'll just well, excuse me. I'll just kind of walk past her and keep doing my little trick. Just as I passed, try to pick her pocket with my tail.
Okay, go ahead and give me sleight of hand as you do it.
That is a 24.
24.
Which one yet?
We really, really, really should not sleep in here tonight.
Yeah, we need to leave soon.
Spot's gonna be like in the Dungeons and Dragons movie where the ball of gold is floating and then it just
Yeah.
starts dropping stuff. Eventually, that's gonna be Spot. He's gonna be our ball of gold things dropping stuff.
As you do that, Spot, you turn, you feel your tail dip into a small purse that she has on her belt, and you pull out a ring out of the belt, like curled up in your tail, and you tuck it, and then you turn to kind of like walk away casually, and there's Tilly slowly chewing on a muffin, staring at you with like very penetrative gaze.
Uh-oh.
You try to go around her, and she sidesteps in front of you.
Miss Tilly, Tilly, what can I do for you?
Well, saw what you did. Not cool.
Look,
I mean, they did invite you here, and you're kind of stealing from people. You know when you said that it was kind of racist, what I was saying, but yet here you are doing what all the tabaxis do, steal from people? I mean, who else? She starts checking her own pockets, and
I would never steal from you. You seem like such an upstanding person, and well, old habits die hard.
upstanding. Well, there's no reason to be rude.
No, that it's
Can't help it. I'm only 2 feet tall.
Okay, kitties.
I hear your
No, my
cats
boys are
fighting.
fighting. It's like,
Let's piss off Dad. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
Inside of you are two cats.
Yeah, inside of your head are 2 cats fighting. That kind of makes sense. That could be your kung fu name, 2 cats fighting.
That was his fighting style.
Miss Tilly,
2
I
cats fighting. So exciting. Do, 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 do. But yeah, Tilly's just like patiently watching you, her eyes narrowing, finishing her little baked muffin that she grabbed from a plate.
I want to check my inventory for a thing real fast. Miss Tilly, while we're here,
Don't change the subject.
no, just curious if you might be able to identify an interesting substance I picked up.
You're trying to change the subject.
I'm gonna.
She pops the last of the muffin in her mouth. She's doing that creepy thing where she's licking her fingers.
I think actually,
You know what toddlers do when they want to eat all the food.
don't recognize this. I'm going to pull out like a couple of grams of residuum. Like, I don't know what it was, but it seems to have made its way. Seem to have found it on one of our misadventures.
She grabs it from you. Okay, I won't tell anyone. Puts it in her pocket and she wanders off.
Nailed it.
That's kind of
You're just like, well, she might really be like me.
you didn't like sniff it or anything, right? Like,
Sir, if there's no more need of me, I believe I should retire. I feel useless and out of place in such refined confines. I do think I think I might inadvertently commit some type of faux pas, but such distinguished guests just obsequiously bow and kind of walk out.
scroll case falls out.
Like a few pieces of silver, scroll case.
We don't even have
Walking
silver.
around,
Where did that come from?
What's going on, guys? All right, I'll be right back.
Physically walking away to make a
So that leaves, as you guys watch Spot head out the front door, that leaves the three of you still kind of in the dinner party environment.
Do you have a restroom by any chance?
A restroom. Oh, water closet. Yes, I think they've got one down the hall there.
Thank you.
Of course. Kind of watches you get. Damn it. Okay. Well, I did my best. And he just kind of goes down to staring at his drink.
No.
Kind of sullen looking.
I'll walk up and sit down next to him.
His
It's
eyes.
okay. She's like that to everybody.
Really? Is she married?
I don't know, but she has a lot of companions.
Oh, one of those. I see. Well,
I
can't
didn't
blame a
mention that
guy
they're
for
animals,
trying.
but yeah.
The animal companions. Oh, I love animals.
Yeah, but they tend to be quite protective of her, so
Oh, I see. But maybe.
This conversation. I'm happy I left.
I'm
That's why he didn't want to go see Earth, and he was like, "I'm gonna hang out right here."
Yeah. Well, maybe if you get a chance, you can put in a bit of a good word for me.
what's in it for me?
Excuse me?
What's in it for me?
I don't know. Kindness, empathy, good feelings, perhaps?
Come now, Blackwood, right? We are traveling to parts unknown on a whale underwater. You certainly didn't come here empty-handed.
He kind of looks at you, his eyebrows kind of furrow, and he goes, I don't know what kind of dark cloud that hangs over your head, but good evening. And he kind of like gets up and walks away from you.
Can I try and see if I can get one of the birds to go with me to the bathroom?
Yeah, you look at one of the shelves, and there's a cockatoo sitting there, and looks
Thanks.
down at you. And as you walk by, the cockatoo goes, "Hello."
Is he talking human or cockatoo?
Human, common.
Human. Holy shit. Hey man, what's up?
Oh, me. I'm up here. The loo's down the way there.
Thanks. Do all you birds speak non-bird?
Well, we're not birds the way you think birds are. We're fey creatures.
I see. Should have noticed. Must be the
We're,
wine.
we're tethered to this place.
Really? So this is part of the Fae?
Not exactly. No, not quite how it works.
How does it work?
Well, the lady over there in the wing comes up and points over at Thornwood. She's this is her device. She likes to collect us. She goes to the Fae a lot. And she asks us if we feel like traveling with her. We say yes. But to protect us from the magic of this place, we have to transform into animals. Otherwise, this place just sends us back every hour, and it's quite annoying.
Yeah, it would be. We had a friend that was from the Fae. We parted ways some time ago, but it seems like a fascinating place.
Yeah, I don't really miss it, though. I like it here. There's plenty of food, plenty of people. This lady travels everywhere. It's pretty cool.
Where has she been?
He flies off the shelf to land on your shoulder. She originally comes from Jusar. She's been all over Exandria. And she goes to the Fae from time to time. I know she's been to the Shadowfell on a couple occasions looking for something. And she has an intense interest in magical artifacts. I mean, look at this place. I mean, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful space that you guys have there.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it.
Oh, you said the loo was which way again?
Oh yeah, that way. I'll show you. Just keep walking down the hallway, and I'll show you where it's at.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you bet.
Sorry, not man, bird.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's better. That feels better. Practice what you preach.
Yes.
And you got flies off your shoulder to sit up on the shelf. You come to a door. There's a series of 4 doors, small and narrow, and you open it, and sure enough, it's a water closet designed for people that need to use the restroom.
Nice. When I'm inside, can I pull out the map of Revelations?
The entire map is fogged out.
Fogged out.
Probably due to being inside the mansion.
Can I do primeval awareness for Fae to see if I can locate the number of Faes around us?
What's the range on that?
I guess this does not count as a favored environment anymore, since even though we're undersea, this is
right. You're in a magical environment, so yeah.
Yeah. So it would be 1 mile.
Well, that's good enough. I mean, while the Magic Mansion's a large place, it certainly isn't 1 square mile. There are at least 465 Fae creatures in the Magic Mansion.
A lot. Do any of them stand out to me?
They all seem to be a montage of just about every kind of bird or animal, small in nature. However, there's a particular ping of energy coming from the very utmost height of the Magic Mansion. And it's a very large Fae creature. A bit of a kind of sentient nature of it that feels a little off-putting as you focus in on it. But you sense that dozens of the other Fae creatures kind of swarm around it. And there's a sudden kind of movement of energy. And one of the smaller Fae creatures gets hit by that energy. And then the larger Fae creature that's maybe about 8 feet tall, very squat and round, starts chewing.
Oh. Well, that piqued my curiosity. So as I leave, I'm gonna try and do... let me see. Yes, hide in plain sight, which gives me plus 10 bonus to stealth checks.
Okay.
And also 1 minute of camouflage. I guess I'm not really sure if that means that I can if that only works if I don't move, or if I can move and still be kind of hidden.
What does it say?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask because it does not. Starting at the 10th level, you can spend 1 minute creating camouflage for yourself. You must have oh, never mind. Must have access to fresh mud, dirt, plants, soot, or other naturally occurring materials which you create camouflage.
You just
Correct.
paint yourself with a bunch of books and keep freezing up against the wall.
This is a dated
Like,
reference, but it's very
Yourself like the ends of books.
into the ground. Decorating myself to look like a rock.
I could cast invisibility on you if you like call me back to the bathroom. And you
Ooh.
can
I'm gonna see if I just have invisibility because I might. I have not checked my. I do not. Yes.
My
then
favorite
I
is when you get to an end of a campaign and a player looks up at you and goes, "Oh shit! I forgot I had a ring of wish."
Actually, speaking of, let's see. What do I have in inventory? It's been so much.
I still have the Guardian amulet, by the way.
Ooh.
I've been wearing it, but I haven't tried to attune to it yet because it's the one that has something inside it.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna ask Xanth to cast invisibility on me.
Okay.
Okay.
So it lasts for a minute, so it's enough time for you to like sneak out of the party, and then you'll be visible again. But I'll cast greater invisibility on you and be like, "Go!"
Thanks.
Give me stealth with advantage because you are invisible, and you can add that plus 10 as well.
Yes. It's okay, I can't use it then afterwards. Okay, stealth. So 19 plus 10, that's going to be 29.
Okay. You quickly use the invisibility to kind of weave your way through all the people in the party. Get over to the main staircase that kind of takes you all the way up to the top. Takes you exactly a minute to get to where you know that energy was coming from. And you're standing in front of just a simple door, wooden door. And above it, it says keep out.
Guess what I don't do?
And then you're visible again because that minute is up. But you can hear the party kind of trickling up towards you. Looking around, it's the final landing of the inside, maybe about 7 flights up. And there's no other door on this level other than the one you're standing in front of.
Can I cast on myself protection from evil and good?
Go for it.
And that should, that should help me, hopefully. Okay, so I cast protection from evil and good. And until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestial elementals, fays, fiends, and undead. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack roll against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If a target is already charmed, frightened, possessed by such creature, the target has advantage on any saving throws.
Okay. What's your passive perception?
11.
11? Okay. Good to know.
She's not very perceptive for wild. And yeah. Can I roll for perception?
It's not a matter of perceiving anything. The only thing that so there's the door, it's closed. You don't really see anything strange about this place other than the fact that you can feel that intense energy of that fey creature on the other side. And there's a slight glow coming from underneath the door. The one thing I would say you pick up on because you noticed them before is that all the little ledges and woodwork up on this level have birds and mice and squirrels and little animals kind of all perched up there, and they're all kind of just staring down at you with a kind of blank stare.
Okay, I look up to one that looks kind of friendly. Hey, friend.
Oh, hello.
Do you know what's on the other side of this thing?
No, not really.
Are you afraid of it?
Everybody's afraid of that room.
Would you want me to go inside and tell you what's in it?
Like in unison, the 40 creatures all go, yes.
Interesting. Do you know if there are any charms on this door?
Don't know.
Don't know. Will you cover for me if something happens?
Sure. You're covered.
Can I do insight check into?
Yeah, you don't even need to take an insight check. You get the feeling they're not really sure what that word means, but they want to be nice to you.
Oh, okay. I flip my coin drake.
Oh, it's been a what? Where the fuck are we?
Yeah, I
What is-
know, right?
What is this place?
It's a little space that seems to connect with a fae.
Oh, a little bit of home. Huh. Ooh. Am I allowed to eat these?
No, they're also fae. You'll get in trouble.
Oh, God.
Do you
So
know-
hungry. What? Do I know what?
Can you feel something on the other side of this door?
Well, hold on. Flies over and presses his pseudo-dragon head to the door. Nope, nothing on the other side of this door. Just ignore it. It's fine.
Oh, come on. I'll take the bar.
Yeah, there's something on the other side of this door, but I don't think you want to go in there. Just saying.
Do you know what it is?
I think it's a hag.
A hag.
Ooh. Yeah,
Hag.
fey hag.
A fae hag. What's that?
Well, you see, in your world, you have hags that, like, get lost in the naturalness of your world. Sometimes they create places where they can influence and get involved with people. Fey hags, they're a little bit on the crazy side, a little bit nutty. I don't know which one this is on the other side of the door, but she's giving off some pretty creepy vibes.
Ooh, thanks for the
Not
head up.
nefarious vibes, but just like maybe she's creepy. If you know what I mean.
I think I can guess. How about this? And
Okay.
she takes out a piece of paper and writes down, "Hey, friend," heart emoji, and slips it under the door.
You slip it under. It gets slipped back out, reversed, and just a single word, hello, written on it.
Cold. Are you trapped in there?
You slide it back. Comes back out. No.
I write back, what are you doing all the way out here?
Slides back out. You want to talk?
I write back, that depends.
Slides back. On what?
Are we friends? Question mark.
Do we just
Slide-
become best friends?
Yeah, it slides back out. With
Jump
just a
in.
question mark.
What do you seek? And I slide it under.
Yeah. Slides back out with 2 question marks on it.
Okay, I answer with 3 question marks.
She slides it back to you with LOL on it.
Christ. Are you familiar with the winter quartz? And I slide it under.
She slides back, yes.
I write, I have friends in the winter quartz. I'm here for curiosity. Why are you all the way out here? And I send it under.
She slides it back. Come on in.
I hate this. Okay, I look to the Drake. Listen, we've done some pretty stupid things in the past, and I know I said this is all behind me.
Yeah, but this is pretty... It's not like this is a god that's going to eat you like the last time.
That's true. Okay, I'll ask her. Is the door enchanted?
You hear a voice from the other side. No, dearie. Come on in. I assure you, it's quite safe.
Okay, I look to the Drake. Listen, stay here. Call for help if it seems like this comes to it.
I kind of feel like I should just go get help now.
No, wait a minute. Maybe she'll be nice. I open the door.
Yeah, as you go to open the door, you feel the Drake's little spindly hands on your shoulder. So look, we're in a magic mansion, surrounded by fey creatures. You're about to go into a room with a rather bloated fey creature that I've referred to as a hag, which is they can be crazy and kind of, how should you say, not persuasive, but, you know, tend to make you do things you don't want to do.
I do have a bad history with that, don't I?
Kind of, but that's all right. I'll be right here for you. If anything goes wacky, just you come right out, and we'll make sure nothing goes too sideways.
You know what? I'm gonna pretend like I'm older and smarter now, and I'm gonna instead answer like, right. I have to go, but but would you like to keep in touch?
Oh, I don't know how long I'll be around much, dearie. But sure, if you have to go, then by all means go.
I can't. No, she's too curious. She's gonna...
No, so close.
Lunch is like Lunch just about to like say something.
I'm so sorry.
I
know.
As you step in to the place, it is bright light and kind of like
Ooh,
kind of
wow.
like this energy all in the room, and you can see these tiny little pixie-like creatures floating around the room, and there's kind of like these, like there's a dark edge to the room where tree limbs, almost like jungle-like tree limbs, are settling into the bubble of space. And every now and then you watch as something grows into one of the bright pixie lights, detaches, and starts floating around her. She's maybe about 8 feet tall and about 6 feet wide. She's got very stubby legs, stubby arms, and she's got all these bizarre adornments, broken teeth, bright yellow eyes, that just with a shade of blue that floats across her face. And oh, you're quite beautiful, aren't you? Please come and sit. Come and sit and have a drink with me, if you would.
Well, I am in a party. She walks in and politely sits.
So, what's your name, dearie?
I thought hags were supposed to know things. Don't you already know my name?
She closes her eyes. Oh, your name's Puck. Am I right?
Yeah, you are. A catchy name.
Do you like cards, Puck? Do you believe in chance?
I believe in fortune.
Oh, you are a fun lady. And she boops you on the nose. She reaches down into the folds of her robe, and suddenly you're sitting with a round table between the two of you. You watch as she reaches up. You don't mind if I have a snack first, do you?
This is your space.
Thank you. She reaches up and grabs one of the pixies floating by, and it's like, no. Oh, there, I feel better. Thank you. And she pulls out a stack of tarot cards and puts them in front of her. And she goes, now, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And then when you answer, I'll flip over a card and see if there's any truth to it. These cards are, well, they're kind of like guides to people. I have many sit-downs with my keeper, Thornbrook, and guide her on her way quite often. They've worked well for her. Perhaps they'll work well for you too.
Sounds like fun.
Okay. Are you currently traveling somewhere?
I am.
Good. Now, hold that thought in your mind, dearie. And he watches her pudgy hands with broken nails, pulls a card, and she flips it over. And it's a card of a stream of water running through a lightning strike. Oh, you're on a very exciting adventure. You're going someplace dangerous, and you're looking for something quite powerful in magic then.
That is true.
Now, my next question. Are you traveling through the veil to get to the Shattered Isles?
I am.
Pulls a second card, slams it down. It's a kind of silver skull with a snake kind of wrapped around it, running through the eye sockets, with a gold coin emblazoned behind it. Oh, a man of mystery is on your horizon. Somebody very powerful, and in the throes of death, they will reveal themselves to you. That is a strange one. Do you know of powerful people that are at stake in your adventure, dear?
I have met powerful men. I do not know which ones you are referring to.
Oh, unfortunate. Now the third question. And she looks at you and... What is your favorite color? No, I'm kidding.
Red. No, yellow.
Wait, blue. No, great. She goes, now, you mentioned that you had a friend in the Winter Court. Have you ever met any fae that goes by the name of... I forgot her name. Hold on, let me pull it up. Because I forgot to bookmark it. Goes by the name of Sibo.
I have met an individual that goes by that name.
Oh, fantasy. Let me see here. The third card. It's a 3-leaf clover with a hand behind it. The luck card. You're going to meet her again. But she's lying to you, dear. She is not what you think she is. This is a revelation card. There is a reason why the two of you will meet again. And it has something to do with the journey that you're currently on. Yeah, you see, I didn't take too much from you, did I?
What did you take?
Give me an intelligence save, if you would, please.
Oh, great. Keep forgetting that I'm stupid. Wait, I still have protection from good and evil, so I still have... so she cannot possess me.
Correct. You don't feel like that's the intent.
Ooh, okay. I got a 9 because I'm stupid.
She leans in and her broken finger reaches up to the side of your head and a thin white stream of energy comes out and she teases it and puts it into a small vial and puts a cork on it. And as she swings her robes open, you can see hundreds of vials like on the inside of her robes. And she drops it in. Just a memory, dear. Just a memory. You see, I am a preserver. As souls travel through the world, I gather up these memories and I use them to help educate Thornbrook on certain things that she makes requests of me. Unfortunately for me, I am not all-knowing. I have maybe lied a little bit to her to get into her partnership and to be honest with you, this place is amazing. And I don't really want to go anywhere else. I have all that I can eat. I have amazing conversations with people, but I'm a bit of a charlatan. I'm nothing more than a soothsayer. And she smiles with broken teeth and just, well, it was a pleasure meeting you, young lady. Good luck on your adventure.
Thank you. May I ask, which memory did you think worth preserving?
Oh, that would be breaking the rules. If I tell you the memory goes away, I'm sorry, dear. I can't do that.
You know
But
what?
you can rely on these cards. They don't lie, dear. They always tell the truth.
Would I be able to summon you? Or converse with you going forward?
Unfortunately, I'm in the employ of Thornbrook. Give me a persuasion check, if you would, Puck.
15.
15?
But I do have defense from good and evil. I'm gonna try and
You also have a D6 of inspiration, too.
Shoot, you're right. Thank you. D6. 15. Yes, that's a 19.
She looks at you and goes, well, it's a bit unorthodox, dear, but I suppose. And she breaks off her finger and kind of pulls it away from her hand. And she opens up the palm of her hand. She squeezes out a droplet of green blood that pools in the palm of her hand. She closes her other hand around it and mutters a few incantations and, here you go. It's a tear of a hag. All you have to do is call my name, crush it, and I can help you one time, dear. Only one. You could call upon me.
Puck courtesies politely and says, thank you, ma'am. It was wonderful meeting you.
Yes,
And-
you too, dear. You too.
Wait, what, Earthen? It's okay. Can we? No, we won't break the rules of meta. We won't break the.
You kind
yeah.
of like back out of the door and
And
you know,
yeah, just I know her name, right? Or do I know her name?
she never gave it to you.
Before I go out, can I ask? Wait a sec. What is your name?
She looks at you and smiles and like, I almost got away with it, didn't I? My name is Eldrisa. Eldrisa, the fortune teller.
Well, it was absolutely wonderful meeting you. I hope to do so again soon, Eldrisa. And she courtesies and politely walks away. Thank you,
Yeah,
Earthen.
you go back out the door shuts, and there's lunch kind of like flying and hovering. Oh, you're back. Oh, you've been gone for so long.
How long?
About an hour.
Damn. Well,
Like it felt like 5 minutes to you.
well, she was the picture of politeness.
Oh, well, that's good, I guess. Wow, you got away with that twice now. Let's not tell anybody else what you just did. That seems like that might be a bad move.
I think you are, as always, correct, friend. And before going away, I just kind of try to look to the other Fae and say, shh, wink. And
They all nod their heads and look at each other and go back to staring at the door.
she walks away.
With Spot being gone and the evening beginning to wind down, is there anything anybody wants to do with the last hour of the dinner party?
Well, I kind of wanted to, as I was kind of making my way to the door, like once I kind of open it, kind of slip out, cast invisibility on myself, and just kind of sneak back in, just in case any of my buddies have something they need me to do.
Unfortunately, the door doesn't let you do that. You have to present yourself to come back in.
Yeah.
Part of the magic of the space and the door and what it does.
All right. Can I
So
cast
as you begin to kind of like formulate that plan, you're like, you begin to realize as you try to cast invisibility with the intent of coming back in, you feel yourself cross the threshold, the door reappears, and unfortunately you'd have to knock to come back in.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, I thought I did something on my thing. Well, shit.
I'm going to approach Sabella.
She's now currently picking at her plate and drinking her wine as you start coming towards her. She looks up from her plate and goes, "You play quite well, quite well. Where did you learn such talent?"
Why, thank you. The majority of my time I studied in Rexentrum.
Oh, Rexentrum, huh? Spend any time in Trustenwald or in Zadash by chance?
No, can't say that I have.
Interesting. Your writings are amusing. Some of your songs quite intriguing.
I spin tales of the stories I've heard along my travels. I've
Yes,
been
your travels.
interesting places.
Let's discuss. And she takes a drink of her wine. Your travels. Your friend Xanath seemed very kind of obsequious in her attempts to not answer my questions. And I found her to answer in very false manner.
How kind of you to call her friend.
No, she's not my friend. I assume she's your friend.
Traveling companion.
Is she not your friend, then?
There are situations with which one might find themselves in need of some last-minute healing.
Oh, I thought you were about to say companionship. It would be like a Rexington bard to take their companion around with them.
I must say the song. "The Bard Who Wasn't" is a very personal song to me.
Yes, I noticed. It's brought a tear to your eye while you were singing it, didn't it, dear boy?
Certainly did. So,
are you
Sabella.
married by chance?
Oh, I am.
Oh, you have a wife. Do you have any children?
So far as I know.
Fascinating. And what did you say your name was again?
Denagar Manathorn.
Oh, don't know any of the Manathorn name from the Morrow Valley. Is there a family that you come from by chance?
No one in particular.
Fascinating. Well, you said you had a question for me, dear boy. What can I do for you?
I couldn't help but notice you took some interest in my love song between the captain and her frog.
Well, I find the background of that song to be very both humorous and creative at the same time. One might even say that all that was missing was a marionette of a puppet to express the song.
If only I were so talented.
Oh, well, you could always work harder at it, dear boy. Work hard. You'll eventually get okay.
Met many bullywogs, have you?
Oh no, never seen one before. Seen writings and descriptions of them. Quite silly creatures. Rather useless, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I find them hard to understand. It's all the croaking in their voice.
Yes, they
A
kind
literal frog in their throat.
that's clever. Clever. Stick with music, boy. Anyways, well, I never met one before. One could say that the longing for something that you can't have is very inspirational, isn't it?
What is it that you so long for?
Oh, not me. I assumed it was you, dear boy. You wrote the song.
Come now, Sabella. We all long for something.
Give me persuasion, if you would, please.
Certainly. That is a 29.
Ooh.
She kind of, her eyebrows go up in a bit of a kind of like shock-like statement, and they kind of narrow a bit as she stares at you. Well, I'm not really sure what you're implying. I am merely hoping to understand the magic of these rifts. That is my intent on traveling through the veil. I don't long for anything other than information as it relates to magic.
I've never met one who wanted to know more about magic, who didn't have some desire to wield that magic as power.
Well, magic is power, dear boy. What else would it be?
Of course, but everyone has their reasons for wanting to accumulate such power. Rarely is it ever power for power's sake.
No. I think you've been misguided in your understanding of magic.
Truly? There was
No, truly.
strange
You waste
people
your
on Noble.
life playing, probably cast illusions and take advantage of young women and young boys for their own profession that all bards profess. Romanticism, misguided placement of the understanding of arcane power. Arcane power is neither good nor bad, dear boy. You either have it and wield it, or you are worthless otherwise. To be worthless is merely to know your place in the world.
I met quite the powerful arcane user recently.
Oh,
He goes by the name Widowgast.
I am familiar with that abomination.
Abomination, you say?
Well, what some people call the natural importance of cleaning up a rather nefarious organization, I merely call it a purge, a genocide of our order.
Ah, there we are. There's the true Sabella. Let's hear more about this purge. It's all news to me.
I don't know what you speak of. If you know who Widowcast is, there's nothing new I could possibly give you in information.
Oh no, I only met Widowgast in passing, actually. Quite the strange little cat companion he has. Not so unlike my own.
Oh, no, very different from your own. What kind of fool takes on a natural thief as a body servant is beyond me. Their kind is really quite useless. It's nice of you to take care of him, I guess.
Well, tell me how you really feel, Sabella.
I just did.
Saucy.
Get it over with and kiss already! Edge of your seats!
Oh. Am I to understand that you at least were a member of the Assembly?
I was at one time, of course.
So it wasn't the purge that ran you out? You left before?
I left after. Unfortunately, Widowgast's short-sighted approach to solving what he thought was an endemic problem created other challenges for some of us. Rather than wait for some weak-kneed, saucy-eyed person to take over my mentor's place, I decided to leave.
Who was your mentor?
Well, let's just say it's an elven gentleman that still languishes in prison.
Uh-huh. Well, Sabella. Should I call you Dr. Sabella? To be more appropriate?
No, Professor will do fine.
Professor? Okay. Professor Sabella. It has been wonderful talking to you. Could I perhaps get your mark? And I'll pull a scrap of paper and a quill. It's not often that you get to meet someone who used to be a part of the assembly.
No, I think not. I don't really enjoy that kind of thing.
That kind of thing? Ma'am, you are a member of the assembly.
I was a member.
Fine. Leave it at that. I'll step away and scan at the crowd and see kind of what it looks like now.
Everybody's still here except for Spot.
Where the hell did he go?
Want me back?
Looking around, you could see that Thornbrook is now speaking with Lysander Crawwell at the other end of the table. Fairwind is speaking with the artist as they're kind of looking at the painting that he did. Blackwood is kind of over by the buffet table, kind of sulking a bit. Tilly's got her nose buried in a book. Xanath is kind of sitting on over one of the couches in the sitting room, just kind of patiently waiting. The one person you don't see is you don't see Puck anywhere. And you know she was here a minute ago, like a few minutes ago. You remember seeing her.
Jeez, Puck and Spot are missing. Why? Of course.
I made a big show of leaving. You should.
Yeah. Spot made a show of leaving.
I feel like I would have been able to be a bit insightful of Spot making a big show of leaving means he's going nowhere.
Or he probably had a plan.
Trying to go nowhere, yeah.
And he probably had a plan that either is in the process of failing or has already failed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But also, Spot does that and Puck disappears. Earthen's first stuff's going to be like shenanigans. It's shenanigans. Of course it's shenanigans.
It's always shenanigans.
But I'm going to look over now at Crawwell, and it's great that he's speaking to what's her face?
Thornbrook,
yeah. Because both of them are rather interesting people that I would like to approach.
Okay. Xanath, what are you doing with your time? You're by yourself on the seat. No sign of Puck yet. She hasn't come back. So far, she's been gone for about a half an hour since you turned her invisible.
Yeah, getting kind of nervous about Puck. She's been gone a long time. I think that because it was Thornbrook who said that she had talked to my mom, right? And she's also the leader of the party.
Yeah, she had gone to one of her lectures in Nicodranus.
I think I'd like to try and talk to her if there's an opportunity to talk to her one-on-one before we leave.
Okay, that's fair. I'll say, Earthen, you approach Crawwell and Thornbrook first.
I want to have detect magic up as I'm not detect magic, so detect thought up as I approach.
Okay. As you approach, they seem to be arguing over one emotion is being stoic and the other emotion is being fervent. Like And as you get closer, you realize that their conversation is floating up towards you, and it's like they're arguing about something. But they see you kind of start approaching, and they kind of, look at each other with kind of knowing glances. And Thormac, oh, Earthen, or your fake name, whatever it is.
Inigar.
Yeah. Very well done performance. Thank you for performing. That was quite lovely.
Thank you. It is how I apply my trade, so,
Well, if you'll excuse me, both of you, Crowell kind of like walks away immediately. Oh, of course. How rude of me. She reaches into her robes and pulls out a small pouch of coin. 50 gold. Will that suffice as a tip?
Of course. Yes. Why?
So
generous. Thank you so much.
Of course. I keep forgetting, struggling artists and all. They don't make a lot of money, do they?
Yeah. That guy. I point at the half orc. Like
the artist. Yes. He's
artist is such a loose term there. None of that's real.
What do you mean?
The easel. None of that's real.
Of course, it's real. It's right there.
It's all enchanted by him. He's what? It's no art. He's not using his hand.
Well, we all use enchantments, don't we?
No, we don't. This
magical
playing comes naturally. The lute is
Without
magical. My skill and voice are natural.
Of course. My mistake.
It's okay. It's one many make. So, I'm to understand this is your mansion.
Yes, it's a relic of mine. When I'm not using it, the door is a small token in my pocket. When I require its use, I merely invoke the command word, and I have this place of safety and comfort for 24 hours at a time.
24 hours? Wow, that's impressive indeed.
Oh, yes. I do enjoy it. It makes my travels much more manageable.
I noticed when we came in, the animals also seem to talk in here.
Oh, the fey creatures. Yes. I'm a bit of a collector, you see.
Collector, you say?
Yes, I like to collect creatures when I travel. I have spent a great deal of time in the Fae. Also, I found quite a few of them during my ramblings as well, and offered them safety with me. Like I said,
a lot of creatures. How long have you been traveling?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 20, 30 years.
Can I roll insight on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's 19.
She seems to be telling the truth. No nervous tick, no sense of she's trying to hide anything.
20 years?
I lose track, to be honest with you.
If they're Fey creatures, then certainly some of that time is in the Fey. Yes?
Some of it is, yes. Maybe a day or two. The Fae can be fickle with time.
Truly it can. Who do you normally meet when you make these journeys to the Fae?
Well, I meet with the courts, of course. They're very interested in the material world as much as I am interested in their world. They're quite open to folks that wander in and out, all except, well, there's some courts. The winter court can be a bit brusque if you try to approach them. Ever since the end of the Seelie and Unseelie court wars some many years ago, the Fae have become, well, quite receptive of travelers.
I had a friend who was a member of or at least adjacent, attached to the Winter Court.
Oh.
She seems to have made a travel back now, but a very interesting person indeed. I wouldn't say she was brusque, though. Maybe they're trying to branch out.
Maybe. I don't know. I mostly go there for my study of magics, and the study of magical creatures is the main thing I study.
Magical creatures like dragons. Do you study those much?
Dragons are inherently magical, but I'm more interested in rare creatures. Creatures that are smaller, easier to study, but have very unique skills and unique magics.
So, if I follow, you collect those smaller creatures with powers to enhance your own?
I don't believe I said anything like that.
No, but you collect all these creatures, you collect them for their powers,
No, I collect them because I study them.
but you collect the small ones, and not any small ones, but small ones with powers.
I collect small magical creatures. What are you getting at?
I have a friend who also seems to hoard small creatures. Fish, birds, tigers every once in a while. I'm just
Oh.
trying to see what this is going to turn into.
Oh, well, yes, it's a clutter, that's for sure. It's kind of addictive. The more interesting that you find, the more creative their personalities, and the more they can teach you.
Yeah.
This may sound odd and a little out of nowhere, but do you know anything about vampires?
I know a bit about their homeostasis, their hemiology, and how they're made, and the myth and their lore. I mean, probably not much more than any academic that would study in any academy to have enough of a basic awareness of what to look for, what to avoid.
So you wouldn't know anything about curing vampirism at all, would you?
Oh, curing it. I've not studied it in depth enough to know enough about that.
You have quite the library here. Surely there may be something here I might be able to...
Oh,
Come up-
they're mostly my mixed memories and books that I collect on my journey. You're free to look both at this library and the one up on the 3rd level if you so choose.
The 3rd level.
Yes, but it has a bit of personality, so be cautious while you're in there. Don't take it too literally.
Okay.
It's called magic, my dear boy. It's very, magical.
How astute. How astute. Yes. Very well. I shall explore the 3rd floor then. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask away.
At some point in your life, that rather large chip on your shoulder, do you think you could make room on your shoulder for something else?
Another chip?
That would probably, in your case, be very apropos. Be cautious of your perpetual sense of intrigue, young man. It's dangerous to always feel that way. I don't disagree with you. Some of the people here are, well, quite plainly assholes, but I'm forced to travel with some of them. Drusar is not known for its contemporary philosophies. Some people I tolerate, and some people I don't. Sibylla I tolerate, because her previous mentor had taught her a great many things. I intend to dig around in that head of hers and learn more about what she learned from him. Anybody who has learned from Trent Ickathon is worth my time.
Ickathon, you say. So, you know she was formerly of the Assembly.
Of course I know, dear. I've no problem with your past. The only problem I have is the choices that you make with your future. If you let your past guide you, you're forever making choices based on something that doesn't exist anymore. The past is the past. If she was criminally found during the purge or even after the purge, I would imagine that those in charge would have dealt with her appropriately. I find her intriguing, annoying, but like anyone who's lived a long time, the information is worth seeking out and see if there's a bit of a diamond in that rough hue.
Well, I'm sure there are many diamonds there, but are they diamonds worth wearing?
Yeah, at least we're studying.
Fair. The third floor, you say?
Yes, enjoy yourself. She swings her hand towards one of the unseen servants. They'll guide you up there.
Thank you.
Of course. And she kind of turns and starts walking. At that moment, Xanath, you see that she's alone. And after you give her a couple minutes to walk over to the bar cart that she's like now pouring herself another glass of wine. And she kind of sees you start to approach her as well. She kind of stops. Oh, Xanath, how are you enjoying your evening?
It's been so informative. What an interesting group of people.
Oh, yes. She like takes a drink of her wine and kind of looks at you and looks at Earthen as you know him to be, going up the stairs, following the servant, the invisible servant up to the third floor. Your friend, he's a bit of a dark cloud, isn't he?
He has been going through a tough period.
Oh, unfortunate. He does have an amazing voice. It seems like every time you talk to him, he seems very suspicious of you, of people, of the person he's talking to. Like, I'm pretty sure he just grilled me about my willingness to accept somebody like Sibylla.
I think he's had some bad experiences in the past, though I don't know much about them. I'm sorry if he was rude.
Oh, I don't think he means to be rude. I just don't think he has a filter. I think he just wants information and he doesn't care how he gets it.
I was curious. I have heard from a couple of people that your expedition might have been coordinated by a man named Mannheim.
Oh, yes. In fact, he was the original person that sponsored the lecture that we all joined in on. He had traveled to Ankarel in Marquette and had given a lecture on the understanding and the distinction of energy rifts. He gave his opinion on the matter. We were all very intrigued. There was about a dozen of us for a while, but then eventually it was just who you see here that I brought with us. And over the course of about 2 or 3 months, we did a lot of preparation and study and a bit of courage. The stories that go on out here are a bit off-putting. I meant to confide in him yet again before we left, but unfortunately I was unable to locate him, find out where he had gone. I was forced to make arrangements with the Crimson on my own accord. They got us a meeting with the council, and we've been waiting in Haven for some time for our opportunity to make the travel.
I don't know Mannheim well, but as we've been traveling, we've heard references to his name several times. I wondered if you had heard, like we have, that each of the previous expeditions he went on, he was the only survivor.
Oh. I was not aware that is part of who he... I'm not aware of any such thing. Traveling through the Vale has always been difficult and can be very challenging. I would say the rumors I heard about a couple of his expeditions may lend some credence to that, but I had always been informed that was more of the Martinette's doing than his.
Oh, really? The travel?
Quite a skilled captain that she was. I originally tried to hire her under Mannheim's recommendation. But once again, I neither could find Mannheim nor the Martinet. I was told that the Martinet had traveled yet again out to the Vale, so I was forced to make other accommodations.
It's a group of very intelligent people here. I only wanted to mention it because my fear is that whatever purpose is being served by these groups of people sent through the veil, they don't seem to come back.
Interesting. Perhaps that is why we sought travel originally with Haven. They said that they had the safest opportunity if you're willing to pay the most coin to the Crimson. The above methods of seeking entrance into the Veil are always notably more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to understand what dangers may lie underneath the sea. Most, if not all, of the rift energy that affects the area around the Veil seems to occur above the water. Are you saying that perhaps there may be hidden dangers below the water as well?
Hidden dangers or hidden agendas.
Oh, interesting. And when you say hidden agendas, are these agendas that could possibly get people killed?
I don't know enough to say. It seems odd to me that Mannheim led several expeditions, none of which returned, and I wonder what his purpose might have been. Maybe you know more than me.
You describe the man as if maybe there were more than one of them. Well, I will take your advice to heart. I think it's well intended. If you don't mind, I'm going to, call it a night. I'm quite tired. When you and your friends are done, your friend, the Bard, went up to the library to do some investigation, I think. Good night. And she just kind of finishes her wine, puts it on the cart, and you watch as she goes to a different staircase, goes up to the second level. You hear a door creak open and then shut, and that's when you notice Puck comes back down into the room.
It took so long. What was up there?
Yeah, she was gone for an hour.
We can talk about that later, but we certainly have a lot of interesting things going on here. And where is Earth?
We went up to the third floor for something. Haven't seen Spot in about 45 minutes. We need to get out of here.
I'll go get Earthen.
All right.
Thanks for making me invisible.
No problem.
Hey, storyteller, I had an idea for a hopefully minor retcon to simplify getting us all back there. And I'm trying to get back in with my visibility up. Instead of that, could I have cast a minor illusion? I have, silent?
A minor illusion of you leaving, and then you stealth away.
Yeah.
Much better idea. Yes, we could retcon that. That would make more sense.
So okay, I'll go ahead and click off my silent image and my invisibility. So
Okay.
Just kind of
Give me investigation to see if you picked up on any interesting conversations, tidbits, and other things that were going on while you were being kind of like in the background and invisible.
investigation or perception. I'm not asking that because I have +0 in one and +9 in the other.
Perception will garner you less information. Investigation will garner you more, potentially on the outcome of your roll. Investigation takes more time. Perception is a bit more quick and kind of fleeting in your attempts to understand things going on.
I'll do that just because. Let's see if I get lucky. It's just a 10 investigation, so not really.
Okay. The one kind of thing that you get from all of this as you You watch as Puck and Xanath are heading towards the staircase. You spent most of your time kind of just keeping an eye on conversation, trying to pick up on something that might lend more. And it's more about watching people and behavior for you. You definitely pick up on one clear fact. None of these people really like each other. They all seem to be burdened with the idea of traveling because somehow it just kind of went that direction. Although Halfleaf and Tilly don't appear to be part of the main group because they eventually leave the party to head back to their own places at that point. And you get the feeling that this place is mostly, a comfort for those that have agreed to travel together as a group. And I'll say, Xanath and Puck, you hear Spot's invisible voice in between you.
Oh, my goodness, here you are. I thought for sure you did something extremely chaotic, but...
Well,
Puck's eyes go a little shifty.
I mean, you think this isn't chaotic? I mean...
No, you're right. I'm sorry. It's just you have a reputation. But honestly, this is a chaotic smart move, and I respect that.
So as the three of you begin to go up the stairs and join Earthen in the library, that's where we're going to finish tonight. And when we come back next Sunday, we'll see how the library goes. It's a very interesting place. I love this Magic Mansion. It's so much fun. So for everybody out there, thank you for joining. You guys go ahead and linger. We'll talk about the schedule. Everyone, please be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game. Good night, everybody. See, I almost did that on time. Do you see that? Almost on time.